Hello, we're back, Year 9, and today is Wonderful Wednesday. Or, how do we get to Wednesday? We're halfway through the week. Okay, so we are in our third writing focus lesson this week, reminding ourselves that the big ideas we are trying to achieve is this ability to practice our writing so that we can tell our story, share, explain, describe in the best way. Okay, but a little shift today. So if you see, although we are practicing our writing skills today, new hashtag. I'm not writing, I'm creating a bridge between your imagination and mine. That's the skill of a good writer, is that they create the bridges between what the reader can imagine and what you imagine. So you as a writer will always look at a task, a picture, and your imagination will fire up. You'll have ideas. And your job is to create that bridge between your imagination and your readers so that you end up sharing the same ideas, that your imagination share the same images. Okay, so our title for today is still practicing writing skills. Okay, so I'll just give you a chance to write that down. And we're not writing today, we're creating a bridge between imaginations. Now, we know that we can draw upon some of the vocabulary from prior reading lessons. So there could be opportunities today to use glassy, irrevocably, myth, inexplicable even, impregnated, hoax, um, as and when. But at the same time, there's going to be an opportunity for you to draw upon your own vocab. Okay, so we've started with this question, how do I become a better writer? And today we're going to look at building a firm foundation. Okay, so good writing has to be built on a really firm foundation. And for us, when we talk about firm foundation, we are talking about sentence level writing. That without firm sentences, without strong foundations, good sentences, your writing can't be sustained. It tends to, you can start well, but it will collapse. It won't continue. It won't be sustained. So today is all about our sentences, okay? So how do I become a better writer? By building a firm foundation that's built on sentences. But a quick recap, okay? Just to get our little brains working. So we've got groups of nouns here. A little reminder that we can have common nouns, so nouns that name objects, things, proper nouns, places, titles, official names, and abstract nouns, ideas and feelings. So we've got a whole list of nouns here inspired by the pictures we've been looking at this week. Kansas, thresher, wheat, beauty, field, loneliness, bell, sunset, building, America, barn, sky, danger, horizon, path, clouds, threat, and fear. So your job, my darlings, is to press pause in a minute and to sort these nouns into three groups. So to create a list of common nouns, proper nouns, and abstract nouns, testing whether you can tell the difference between a word that's naming an object, thing, or or thing for common nouns, whether you would say it's a proper noun, so a little clue, it might or might not have a name of a place, a capital letter, or abstract nouns naming a feeling. So press pause and see what you can come up with. Right, so let's go through our answers. So I've cheated, I've done mine in advance. Here's the answers I prepared earlier. So common nouns, so give yourself a tick if you got these right. Thresher. Now, a little thing down at the bottom here says common nouns fit within the structure, they and, so a thresher. So wheat, the field, the bales, the sunset, the building, the barn, the sky, the horizon, the path, the clouds. These are all our common nouns naming everyday common objects and things that we might encounter. So our proper nouns begin with capital letters, name people, places. They give us the official title. So we've only got two proper nouns in this bank of words. So I'm sure you got them right. So give yourself a tick for Kansas and America. So a reminder that these pictures we were looking at this week are from these beautiful landscapes, these fields of wheat in Kansas, America, these big swathes of corn and sweeping landscapes. Okay, last one then, abstract nouns. Now, abstract nouns can be trickier to spot, but they still often will take the as a determiner to introduce the idea. So the fear, the threat, the beauty, the loneliness, the danger. And that little last list of abstract nouns is to remind us that we not only want to describe what we can see when we're doing descriptive writing, but we want to suggest a particular feeling. We want to create a sense of either of atmosphere, and that comes through thinking about the abstract nouns we want to bring to life for our readers. So brilliant. I hope you did well. If you've got any wrong, just make a note of which ones and maybe why, so you can put it right in the future. Okay, brilliant. So that's just warming up our minds. So we've been thinking like writers. We've used these four images. You've selected one. You've chosen one of these images now. We've made a plan. Now we've made a very scaffolded kind of like basic plan. We've planned some noun choices. We've planned an atmospheric kind of abstract noun choice. Now the reason we're keeping it really basic is that we're going to be building up sentences. So we don't want to overload are thinking with too much at this stage, okay? So these are going to be the building blocks of our sentences today. So make sure you can see and that you did complete this plan from yesterday. We've got an order for ideas, so getting you to think about where your eye went to first, where it goes to next, and in the end, that's going to give us an order when we start to build our sentences, what ideas we might start to write about first, second, and third. So as a minimum today, you're going to end with 3 sentences at least. Okay, you might make it to 5. But we're going to end with a minimum of 3 sentences. Okay, and we've also got an intention. Now, this intention really is behind our thoughts. So when we're making decisions today, we're asking ourselves some of these questions. Okay, am I describing the picture? Am I making it clear what I can see in terms of the wheat plains? Am I using first, third person? Have I chosen my picture? What feeling do I want to create? So this intentions list is really like a little mental checklist we're going to draw upon as we go. Now, we get to start to write, right? Because we've got a plan. Wrong. Okay, if we just leapt in now and started just to go for it on a piece of paper, we might by accident come across some little nuggets, some little treasures of ideas. But really, we want to put another level of scaffold, another foundational level in place. And that's what we're going to do today, okay? In order to get the best foundation in place for our writing, we're going to ensure that we can build some amazing sentences first. We're going to practice 3 different sentence structures and strategies across the next lessons, building to just a paragraph of really rich descriptive writing. Okay, so the 3 areas we're going to cover practicing at sentence level are appositive, subordinate conjunctions, and sentence types. Now, today we're going to do appositives. This will take longer because it's the newest area for us, okay? So I would love it if you could write down this definition. So appositives are nouns, a noun phrase or noun clause placed next to another noun to rename it or explain it more fully. Okay, so it sounds like quite a complex thing, but actually when we start to see it in practice and do some activities to practice it, you'll see it in action. So here are 2 sentences that both contain and introduce the idea of appositives. The thresher, comma, a metal machine, comma, cut through the wheat. So our appositive here is quite a creative one, okay? So it's this noun phrase, which means it's more than 2 words working together that are telling us more. They're renaming and adding to our understanding of this thresher in a creative way. So there's our appositive, a metal machine. Now I want you to notice that it's introduced by that little determiner A. Okay, in this sentence structure, it's kind of bracketed within these 2 commas. And that reminds us that with an appositive, if you take it out of the sentence must still work. The thresher cut through the wheat. Similarly, if we remove the thresher, if we hid that noun, the sentence with the appositive should still work. A metal machine cut through the wheat. So the sense of the sentence will work with or without the appositive. So let's just look at the second one. The sky, comma, the blue blanket came untucked at the edges of the horizon. So here we've got our main noun, the sky, and next to it we are renaming it in our noun phrase. Okay, so we've renamed the sky, and this time again using a metaphor, we've renamed it as a blue blanket. But if we got rid of that blue blanket phrase, the sentence still works. The sky came untucked at the edges of the horizon. Or putting the blue blanket at the in the starting position and removing sky, the blue blanket came untucked at the edges of the horizon. So again, it's telling you some things that we can use to help us check that A, we can read for appositives, but that we're using them ourselves correctly. Okay, so some top tips and tests then. So number 1, appositives often 9 times out of 10 are going to begin with a determiner, a, an, or the. Okay, appositives can sometimes begin with adjectives. So we could start with adjectives to introduce our new appositive, but they do not begin with who, that, which, or whose. Okay, the sentence still makes sense without the appositive, and the appositive can replace the noun in the sentence. So we're going to use these tests. We're going to use these 5 tests to get to grips with this concept of an appositive. So if we look at these, we can see different things that we are doing to reveal or to help us grasp the appositive. So here we've got the thresher cut through the wheat. Okay, here we've got a metal machine cut through the wheat. The sky came untucked at the edges of the horizon. The blue blanket came untucked at the edges of the horizon. Now, this is just reminding us of some of those tests I spoke about. So we're just going to pause here. Okay, and we can see that with those blue strips removed, how the appositive works within the sentence. The thresher, a metal machine, cut through the wheat. A metal machine cut through the wheat. The sky, the blue blanket, came untucked at the edges of the horizon. The blue blanket came untucked at the edges of the horizon. And already they just create slightly different emphasis, slightly different expanded description. So these appositives are brilliant to use at a sentence level. To ensure that you are explaining and describing your ideas creatively and fully. They're also really important in terms of encouraging us to sometimes make decisions about using metaphors or creative ideas to expand our sentences. Now we can see we've got our classic rules in place. All our sentences are beginning with a capital letter and ending with a full stop. Now this is important when you begin to build your own sentences as we move on. And here we've got just one more set of examples and non-examples to help us get our heads around what an appositive is. I'm going to test this on the next slide. So if we look at the example list, the sunset, a golden ball, began to sink. Began to sink. Okay, so we've got the sunset being renamed there as a golden ball. We can see we've got the determiner A introducing it, and it began to sink. Now, if we quickly took that phrase out, the sunset began to sink, makes sense. A golden ball began to sink. Okay, both of those make sense. So that example's hitting all our criteria. Okay, let's look at this one. Gathering in the east, the clouds, sinister grey vapours floated across the sky. So this is just a reminder. Sometimes we don't always have to begin our sentence with a noun, with the subject. We've begun there with a clause, gathering in the east. Here comes our noun. It hits us, the clouds, and then we've got our embedded appositive, sinister grey vapours. So that phrase, sinister grey vapours, is renaming clouds. Okay, floated across the sky. So gathering in the east, sinister grey vapours floated across the sky. Gathering in the east, the clouds floated across the sky. So again, both of these examples are ticking that criteria of what an appositive does. Now, here are some examples that show what people get wrong with appositives, okay? Now, if you remember that list a couple slides ago, it says you cannot begin an appositive with certain words. So the sunset, which was a golden ball, began to sink. Now, you might be saying, well, why can't I do that? Because the other rule that we use to test appositives and whether we're using them correctly is, if I took the noun, the sunset, out, would the sentence still make sense? So if we look at this one, the sunset, which was a golden ball, began to sink. We get rid of the noun, sunset, which was a golden ball, began to sink, doesn't work. So that which was doesn't enable us then to remove the sunset and our sentence still to work. Okay, so it cannot begin with a which, who's, that. Okay, it has to begin with that determiner, a golden ball, in our examples for them to work. Look at this one, gathering in the east, the clouds of sinister grey vapours floated across the sky. Now again, here we've used the preposition of to join the noun clouds to the description sinister grey vapours. But again, the test for an appositive is it's renaming the noun. It's not, I can remove one or the other. Both of them work to enhance the description, but the sentence should work if I remove one or the other. So in this case, gathering in the east, the clouds floated across the sky would work, but look at the bit we've removed of sinister grey vapours. Now, if I remove the clouds and it became gathering in the east of sinister grey vapours floated across the sky, doesn't work. Okay, so now your task is to press pause and to find the appositive. So look at the following sentences. 3 are examples of appositives and 2 aren't. And I want you to write down the 3 examples of appositives, okay, and to decide which 2 aren't. Press pause now and see what you can find.